Hey guys, how you doing? Kenny Joy here. Welcome to my AMA, as I promised. I want to start off by saying thank you guys so much. I could not be more appreciative to all the comments you guys left below. Last check, it was well over 1,000, and I took all last night, all today to read every single comment. And it just means so much to me that you guys took the moment to write a paragraph or a couple of paragraphs about the videos and how they've helped you, and I just can't say enough about my appreciation for that. So thank you guys so much. So with that said, let's start the AMA.
What is your relationship with Caucus? Are you an employee of the company? Are you an independent YouTuber or something in between?
So yes, I do work for REAPER, or caucus, and it's a great time to bring this up that I couldn't be more thankful to Justin and Schwa, and also Ali, White Tie, and Jeff. Greatest group of guys in the world. I couldn't be more thankful for Justin and Schwa allowing me to do these videos and obviously paying me to do them. And it's really important to me that you guys know that the company itself is giving this to you guys as part of REAPER. So I know a lot of people are very thankful for what I do, but I really want you guys to know it's not just me. It's REAPER, Justin, and Schwa that are supporting this and keeping this thing going because they think it's such an important part of REAPER, and it seems like you guys feel the same way. So I really couldn't be more appreciative for everything they've done, and I really want you guys to know why these videos are being made. Thanks, guys.
How do you personally learn so much about REAPER that you can show us all the good stuff?
Well, back in the day when I was doing REAPER 3 or REAPER 4 Explained, I wasn't working for REAPER then, so I had to learn the same way you guys did. Going to the forums, asking questions, reading the great user guide by Jeff, and just kind of winging it. But then when I started working for REAPER, a little bit later, we had a Slack group set up, which we still do, where we can talk all the time. And I should also mention, those two guys are the hardest working people I've ever seen. I mean, literally every day they're working to make REAPER better. See them constantly making changes, fixing bugs. So even if it doesn't seem like things are happening as fast as you want, which they probably are, those guys are working night and day on REAPER. But I'm in that same Slack group with them, so at any point, if I have a question on something or a joke I can annoy them with, I just shoot it over and they usually come back to me very quickly.
How do you and Caucus work together to decide which topics to cover?
This is another one of those times where I can't thank Justin and Schwa enough. They're pretty hands-off on making these videos. Sometimes they'll watch them and give me some comments, usually to remind me of a few things I forgot to say, but in most situations, they're pretty happy with anything I do. There have been times where I'm not sure they want to cover a certain thing, like the VST instruments, as it's not REAPER's property, but it still helps REAPER's users. So I really wanted to bring that up, so I checked with them ahead of time, and they said, yeah, it's a great idea. But for most situations, I just make the video, and they're pretty happy with it. So again, I can't thank them enough. The greatest company to work for.
On the ReXXX plugins, can we get a canonical pronunciation of REA? Is it Regate or Reagate?
Yeah, with this one's kind of funny. I actually talked to the guys about this recently and they disagreed with me. But anyway, I pronounce in the videos Reagate, Reacomp, but obviously REAPER isn't a thing, it's REAPER. So I'm wrong, but I kind of prefer to just cheat a little bit and think of it as like Reagate or Reaque instead as opposed to Reque. But really, the correct way is Regate, Reque, Recomp. I like to cheat a little and add a little bit of the A, Recomp, Reque. But anyway, I'm wrong.
How do you feel about being the face of REAPER to a whole bunch of people?
Yeah, I kind of worry about this a little bit, being the face of REAPER, because Justin has his own vibe, as does Schwa, and I don't really want to be seen as my character being REAPER, so I try to keep the videos very straight, educational, and straight to the point, and not any character or any vibe of mine onto the videos.
Could you share some info on the software side of the development cycle for REAPER?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any secrets to give away. Like I said, those guys work every day developing REAPER, trying to make it better. But there's no real secret plan, there's no marketing plan, there's no marketing department. There's nothing like market share that gets discussed. It's all about how can we make REAPER better for our users. Features get added to REAPER, when they think it makes the most sense, when they have a plan to create them and a way to get it into Reaper. So it's really as simple as that.
What advice would you give, knowing what you know now, to people wanting to learn Reaper as thoroughly and as in-depth as you do?
I would say don't try to learn everything in Reaper. I don't even know everything in Reaper either. Just focus on what you need to accomplish. So if you're in a band, you want to record yourself, program some MIDI, or just record some vocals, just focus on that. And then slowly, over time, watch more videos and learn more. But don't try to learn it all at once. It's too much, and like I said, I don't even know it all.
Is there a way to systematically and quickly customize Reaper without taking months and going manic?
No. Unfortunately, there's no shortcuts to customizing. By definition, customizing means making it work perfectly for you. So if I set it up for me, it's not going to work for you, and vice versa. So it's going to take some time. But I really recommend just learn Reaper to accomplish the tasks you want to do, and then slowly over time, take note of some repetitive things you do and create custom actions or shortcuts to make them faster for your workflow.
Could you make a video on customizing Reaper to feel like Pro Tools?
I could, but I wouldn't. I don't think it's the proper way to learn Reaper or to use it. Let's say you're trying to teach someone how to fly a plane. You wouldn't make it behave like a car. It would be too limiting in what it can do. Reaper can do so many different things that Pro Tools can't, and if you restrict it to what Pro Tools can do, it'll basically be a stripped down version of Reaper and also a limited version of Pro Tools, as you won't get the best of either.
What is your favorite tutorial that you made?
Probably the Why Reaper video, because it goes through every reason I chose Reaper as my favorite DAW.
What are your go-to plugins for EQ, compressor, saturation, etc.?
Honestly, I just use the Reaper plugins, the stock ones that come with Reaper. I've tried other ones, they look kind of cool and retro, but I've tried them against it and they beat it. I really don't see a difference. And I find it simpler to mix or record with stock plugins because less decisions to make.
What do you think must happen for Reaper to become a well-known DAW to the average consumer like Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, etc.?
I don't think it's really ever going to happen. It might become more popular, but it's never going to be an industry standard because I don't think Reaper even tries to be that. They're pretty happy with Pro Tools or Logic having their own audience, and they're fine. If you like what you're using, keep using it. But there's really no goal or intention to take over the world. You know, it's not the point of Reaper. It's just to give people a piece of software you like, use it if you like it, don't use it if you don't. Hopefully word of mouth will increase it, but it's just not that important.
Do you think Reaper can be used to release a full-blown rock record?
Of course. I don't think there's anything Reaper can't do. It's as good as any DAW, and it's kind of like asking, can you write a great book with this typewriter?
What song are you most proud of working on?
Probably the Mossy Playground song, maybe I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack, but I really enjoyed all the records I made. Bayside stuff, some punchline stuff, some emo rock, the Mandy Moore song. Really kind of proud of it all, so I wouldn't say I prefer one over the other or have a favorite.
What's your experience and education in music production?
I did go to a recording school, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's the reason for my success, as I went to work in a recording studio pretty quickly after, and just kept doing that over and over, and built my career from that.
Is there a big master plan behind how you set up your keyboard shortcuts or mouse modifiers?
Nah, not really a master plan. I just kind of add keyboard shortcuts or change things that I need to, but most of the time I start off with the default Reaper and work my way from there, adding custom keyboard shortcuts to make working with Reaper faster, but no master plan.
What has been your own path from hardware-software sequencers to today's fully fledged DAWs?
I started off with an Alesis sequencer, a hardware unit, and some drum machines, worked my way over to a computer, Digital Performer, then Pro Tools, then Logic, and then eventually Reaper. Worked in recording studios with analog tape, and then just eventually moved away to where we are now.
How did you get started as a producer?
Just pretty much worked in recording studios, and eventually started producing the artists and building from there.
How did you get into Reaper, and what's your motivation for educating people on it?
I honestly forget how I first heard of Reaper. I was using Pro Tools at the time, and I heard about this new thing, so I tried it. Really loved it. I love customizing things, so it was right up my alley, and I just kept going from there. My interest in teaching it is really just a career decision overall, as I've been recording and producing for over 30 years, and I just kind of scaled it back a bunch and decided I really wanted to pass on the information. There's a lot more people using Reaper, making records, than I could ever make myself.
I am wondering if you ever use any other DAWs in preference to Reaper. For example, are they better for some projects?
To be honest, the only other DAW I still use is Logic. Not because I like the way it works. In fact, I can't really do much with it, but I just like how quickly I can make a song. But when I'm done, I very quickly export the audio and put it into Reaper and work further with it in there.
Do you create pauses in the post-production, or do you narrate this way while recording?
Do I create pauses? It's kind of a funny question. Not really. I talk like that to make it clear. So if I'm stumbling like I just did right there, if I'm stumbling over words, I'll just say it slower. So I'll just say what I want to say a bit slower, pausing in between.
Are you actively recording, producing for clients now?
Definitely not as much anymore. I still mix quite a bit, but producing, I do a lot less of. I really enjoy the educational side of it and teaching others how to do it, but I'll still pick very specific projects I want to work on.
What genres of music do you like the most, least, and why?
I wouldn't say there's any I like the least, although I'm sure there's a few, but mostly I like pop, and that's any kind of pop. Could be pop rock, rap, dance, hip-hop, doesn't make a difference. If it's popular and appeals to a lot of people, I'm gonna like it, especially if it's good.
How would your teenage self react to your present self and your music career?
That's a really good question. If I had to look back, I would definitely be proud of the success, but I'd probably laugh at what I'm doing now. As I used to tease my sister, who's a teacher, by saying that people that can do, and people that can't, teach. So it's kind of funny that it's come back on me. But I really enjoy inspiring others to make music or anything with computers and Reaper.
I dream of quitting my day job and earning a living mixing and editing audio. Do you have any tips on where to begin with that these days? Would you recommend doing some work for free?
Well, I would say, back in the day, I really kind of needed to quit my day job and just focus on music, but I think that's changed quite a bit. Now that we can make music in our bedrooms, using laptops, we can really do it on our off days or after work. So I wouldn't recommend quitting your day job right away, maybe eventually. But working for free, it's not a bad idea as long as you choose projects that work for you, projects that you really like and will help your career. It doesn't make any sense to work in a studio or work with musicians with money if the music isn't very good, because no one's going to notice what you're doing. That's why I quit working in a studio, because I really needed to work with better music. Just don't work cheaply. It's better to work for free and do people favors as opposed to being known as the cheap guy.
I'd like to see a studio tour if that's possible.
So here's where the supposed magic happens. It's my computer, obviously. Silicon M1 Mac with two 32-inch monitors, pair of NS10s, which I can't live without, mechanical keyboard, a bunch of keyboards I never play, and a hardware rack of gear I never use. Other keyboards up there, a microphone over here, and that's pretty much the studio tour.
Is that an Ikea desk behind you? If so, can you explain the build?
It's actually not Ikea. Two different desktops I got from Amazon. And I cut this one over here to fit and put the other one next to it. And they're sitting on top of these two cabinets here, or desk drawers, which look like Ikea, but they're not. They're also from Amazon. And it's all just sitting on top of some PVC legs. Believe it or not, haven't even screwed them in. They're just sitting on top, and we're hoping for the best.
Have you mellowed over the last few years?
Have I mellowed? I wouldn't say I've mellowed. I'm pretty mellow with other people, but with myself, I'm still nuts.
Damn, you are smoking hot. I'd smash that like button.
Okay, I think my wife's calling me, so I have to go. Thanks, guys.
Bingo, boys, let's go.